So anyway, that's how I ended up in the 24-hour of Le Mans, racing down the Mulsanne Straight.
What were you in?
In a Cobalt?
What were you racing?
Yeah, the Cobalt.
Nice.
Yeah, they thought it was an odd entry, but... Are you mute now, too?
No, I'm good. It's gonna be mute if I keep doing this stuff.
He's a black stick.
What's up, guys? Power Hour number 170-something. I don't know. 6? 5? 7? 8? Does anybody know?
Nope.
Anyway.
One of those.
It was National Wear Your Helmet to Work Day today, so here we are in our helmets.
It's a little hot.
It's a little
It's
warm.
real hot.
It's a little
I
warm.
can't handle it. The sweat is on my face.
We're prepping.
We're prepping. Yeah,
prepping.
we got some race cars to do this year, so here we are. And I'm gonna take this off already.
Helmet removing.
It's too hot.
Set that right
Oh, messing my hair.
Woo! You got them luscious locks.
there. Tyler, pop the molly because you sweating?
Because we sweat. We're sweating up here, boys. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Look at that helmet over there,
Yeah.
boys. Y'all see
Bo's
that guy?
got the
He's
helmet
got the
game on
Cletus
lock.
edition.
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah,
The carbon fiber is better.
Yeah, it's
Kinda-
too dusty, though.
I want that one.
Get out of here. Oh, my
Knock
God.
the dust off it.
Yeah, I might have to, man. Jeez.
But
Featured product of the
feature
day.
product, thank you. We got some silver balls.
I wasn't expecting. I was ready and hyping up the name you were going to say. You didn't say anything. Those are silver rotund things.
So today we're talking about essential mods for platforms, and we recently came out with our Delta Chassis spherical control arm bushings.
That's it.
And every single one of your Delta Chassis cars needs control arm bushings. So get
Yep.
the
Almost
upgraded ones.
100%.
Yep, that's my next mod. For
You might
the
not know it.
My HHR.
You might not know it, but you do.
You definitely need it.
You
So, guys, too, with our ZZPerformance control arms that we have, they have the correct ball joint sizes for
correct.
both ones.
Yep.
These do slide right in. The Moogs do not. The Moogs just a little too small. Those are the proper size for them.
Yep.
They're going real firm.
They're a nice
They're good.
press fit. You do have to heat the arm up a little bit, but
Put these in the freezer.
yeah, put them in the freezer, heat the arm up a little bit. It means that they're not going anywhere.
They ain't going
Whereas we found out the Moogs
go somewhere.
do in fact go somewhere, and they're not supposed to. But today we're talking about essential mods, things that every one of our platform cars need. We're going to go through the different various platforms. Obviously, some are in need of more parts than others. We got some Ecotech boys up here. We got 3800 Specialist. We've all driven all the cars pretty much. So
I think we have them all covered.
I think we got them all covered. Crown Jewel, we probably won't talk specifically about Impalas, but 3800s, it's all
Mike's internet's
encompassing.
working.
I know. He's talking about the number one mod for any car is weight reduction.
I don't know about that.
The freest mod you can do
That's the freest mod.
is
free
weight
horsepower.
reduction.
But that's like, like when you get your first car and you're like, I can do free mods. I can take the plastic off of my Cobalt interior and paint everything that same color.
Paint all of it.
Don't paint that
You know,
stuff.
paint adds weight. So,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. But I'm going to start out with one of our favorite platforms,
Let's get it.
the 1.4.
We're doing 1.4? Oh,
We're
man.
going to start there because the engine itself is phenomenal. We know that.
It's pretty.
Very stout.
It gets a bad rap, but we've unlocked it. We got.
It does get a really bad rap, but it's because of the plastic junk that GM bolted to it.
Yeah.
So obviously, stock block, forged rods, pistons, you can make anything you want. But if your coolant system can't get you home,
Ain't getting you.
it ain't getting you home.
Not good.
So obviously, right off the bat, those coolant mods, the aluminum outlet on the driver's side of the engine,
Number
is
one.
huge. It's gonna break.
Yep.
I don't care when, it is going to break.
It's gonna break. You're gonna leak, and so I believe what Bo has found that we've come in quite a bit with. It's like either warped head or something like that because people ran them over, and then it's iron and aluminum, and one was gonna.
What did Boltman take off that Sonic head the other day?
12,000.
Woo! That's a lot.
13?
Is that under the service limit?
I don't know what the limit is, I guess. We should check.
We're gonna learn today.
Yeah, whatever Tim's is. Isn't his milled like a bunch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his block is too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's plenty of
Yeah,
that.
didn't add up.
That's good.
But especially on a small part like that, you can spring a little leak. It can crack, and you can lose coolant over time. And realistically, especially on a daily driver, how often are you popping your hood and checking your coolant level? Not often. And that goes down and down and down, and then you're out of coolant, and then you hit 260 degrees on the way home, and
bad day, yeah. And that's something that, again, sometimes you're not paying attention to. Sometimes a lot of people let their significant others or family members drive the car too. And
well, a lot of the Sonics don't have a temp gauge either. It is just straight overheat, and then you have a check engine light on.
Yeah. And you don't know until smoke's billowing out of your
no
hood.
low coolant warning or anything on this?
Nope.
The engine, literally, the engine light just pops on.
Huh. My Cobalt's like low coolant right on the dash.
Yeah.
Doesn't say low. Doesn't say overheating. It just says engine light.
Which that's a really big oversight. And I don't know why.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, like
the Cruise got a gauge.
Yeah, the sign just don't have a coolant gauge.
GM was like, nah.
We don't need it. Don't need it.
These things are never gonna. Well, okay. So to back that up, apparently I heard that GM specifically didn't put a gauge on those because they run so hot.
They do kind of run hot, yeah.
Like factory thermostat is what, 228, 230, something like that. So
well, even the Cruise one, I feel like they have it programmed so it just always says normal.
Sits in the middle. Sits in the middle
I'm like,
unless it gets to 250 and then it goes up.
It's like warming up.
Yeah.
And then
yeah. The next one I would say, because I'm not going to be the one to say it, that will come later. One of you guys are going to say it.
Oh, yeah.
But I think something I've been dealing with a lot because now when it comes to us is modding their car. So a lot of people that are coming to us too, at least that I deal with, are your normal everyday people that are just trying to get replacement parts. Mm-hmm. And one of the big things that these cars need is our ignition upgrades, because we have found throughout the test of time, the 1.4 ignition system has not held up.
Nope.
So that's why I'm going to suggest this is kind of a package deal. Maybe we should make it a package deal, but we have our high voltage coil pack, the coil booster, and then the big wire kit. Yeah. We found that those three mods in conjunction kind of makes those things pretty strong overall.
Well, yeah, and to go along with that too, we sell replacement connectors.
Yeah.
Because that clip always breaks, and I mean, even on the drag car, we had that thing zip tied across to try and hold it tight.
Yeah.
And if you got a loose connection there, it's only going to make things worse.
Yep. Gonna drop voltage.
Everybody breaks those connectors.
Yeah. It's pretty fascinating because we came out with the coil booster. And we knew it worked. It worked well here, but we weren't sure how it would come across to the customers.
Yeah.
Every single person who has purchased one of those, 5-star reviews.
Yes.
Like the most 5-star reviews per product for the length of time it's been out.
100%.
It really changes the way those cars feel.
I wasn't aware of how good they were, but I started suggesting to customers that were having issues with the coil packs. They would put them in, and it would immediately, my misfires went away. Immediately. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So,
very cool.
So what is nice about that, so guys, I know it's kind of a harder pill to swallow. I get it. Got to buy this other product for it, but it's something that we believe is going to really change that platform car. Like the ignition system, like you'll get a new coil pack, it'll work for like a month or two, and then it'll break. And it's going to constantly keep kicking the ball down the hill. Yeah. But if you get this, we're pretty confident in it. So that would be my contribution to the list, is your ignition essentials to at least have a good foundation for modding your car.
Yeah.
For sure.
And especially when you're doubling the horsepower, as we always talk about, that stock ignition system is set up for 140.
Yeah, it's not meant to make 300 or 250 or whatever one's making with their
or 180.
A little bit more cylinder pressure there on the Z04.
Just a little bit. And on the Z04,
you said it.
I mean, I thought we'd wrap it a 1.4 up with. You
100%.
fix the coolant mods, you get the ignition system right, and you put a Z04 on it.
Yeah.
And then you're happy.
Yeah, you're going to be real happy with that.
So guys, but we joke about it, but again, the factory turbos, I think we found they don't have a proper bearing structure or any bearing structure.
And they're super small, a lot of back pressure, a lot of heat.
All it just stays in there. And that's what caused those things that's even your 250 Dorman replacements. They fail. Because they all have the same thing in them.
Well, plus, it's a pretty big car and you're always in boost. You're just cruising on the highway.
Always in boost.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, you can, even on manual Sonics, you can put it in 5th and use more of the engine RPM rather than lugging it and using boost, and you'll get better fuel economy.
Yeah. It's insane.
But a Z04 just changes it.
The Z04 changes it. It makes it more reliable. The turbos don't fail. I don't think we've had a single Z04 issue to date. Like an actual one that's caused by the turbo?
No.
None.
Yeah.
So, and actually, I'm sorry, I do have to add one more to the list. We forgot the main one, the PCV upgrade kit.
Oh, that's a big one for 1.4s.
That's
good thinking.
You got to have that. Like, We guys know the Sonic 1.4s have the 4 main points of failure. You got your ignition system, you got your coolant leaks, you got your turbo, and then you got your PCV system.
Yeah, it's pretty sad because it's like a maintenance item every 50K.
Yeah.
I mean, Erica's Encore has 59,000 miles on it, and like the valve cover gasket leaking already.
Valve cover.
Yeah. All right.
Oil pan's leaking.
Yeah, oil pan's leaking, all that. So might as well do the valve cover while I'm in there. Might as well do the ported intake manifold. Get a new PCB. But the only reason I don't do that upgrade for her car is because she wouldn't check the cam.
Yeah,
you do got to service that can,
especially
on the 85 in the winter. You're gonna have a part-time job servicing that thing.
It's kind of crazy how much it collects.
It's like almost it's every gas.
Well, it blows your mind to think that your motor's just making that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like that's one that I highly suggest people get those. But what do we guys think? Do we think that's good for 4 and 5 mods to own a 1.4?
Yep.
All right, I propose. I want to see this man get into his stride. What are the essential mods on a 3800?
Well, just in true GM fashion, I think you got to stick with getting all the plastic junk out of it. So you got to do the intake gaskets and the coolant elbows.
Yeah.
Why do they just keep doing it over and over?
Back in 20 years ago.
30 years. Because they can mileage test a car before it comes out, but they can't longevity test a car before it comes out. Like a plastic might be fine at 100K, but not over 20 years.
Yeah.
At 100K.
So Mike and I just did a video on this. So if you want to check out the latest behind the builds, we talked about cooling mods in your 3800. But yeah, do the cooling mods, elbows, intake gaskets, probably a water pump, 180 thermostat. And I would just consider that one thing because the coolant system's open.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty small. Yeah. Like you could knock that out on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
From there, man, where should we go with this?
Oh, you know what I want to say?
I would say a 1.0 tune. Genuinely.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
for the trans too.
Like some of our newer cars, they benefit from tunes once you're adding mods, but I think in stock form the 3800 benefits from it so greatly because it's such an outdated vehicle.
Yeah.
And they designed it to lug grandma around town and
literally.
And so like when you're trying to spiritedly drive it, like it just doesn't respond well.
No.
So, I would suggest getting a tune on the car early in the process of owning it, even if you're just driving it to work every day.
Yeah.
And like you don't want to mod it.
Yeah.
I still think there's gains to be had with the tune. And especially if you just put in the 180 thermostat, now you get our 1.0, you have the fans tuned accordingly for the thermostat. So
I think that's fantastic because and talk about like the trans stuff that you do to it, like
and a lot of these transmissions are getting really old. So giving them a little oomph to bring them back, bring them back to life. It really helps. So
and like downshifting when you're actually going around a corner rather than just sitting in third gear.
Characteristics, like the transmission habits and characteristics are.
It really wakes the car up.
Yeah, like it's
same
massive.
goes for 2224 cars
or
even
cobalts.
Yeah, they're just dogs.
Stuff. Yeah, the trans tune makes a huge difference on auto cars.
Yeah,
and correct me if I'm wrong too with this, but from what I remember back in the day, especially the firmer shifts, especially during like wide open throttle situations, so that's better for the trans than the soft mushy ones.
Yeah, we do things like we don't allow it to shift into fourth gear, wide open throttle, stuff like that. Things that are going to save your transmission in the long run.
Exactly.
Which any of you Cobalt dudes, don't grab fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? The highest gear.
It's just overdrive.
Do you have a story about that?
I actually don't know. I grabbed fifth and never grabbed sixth.
I blew up my car doing that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For my first two too. Yeah.
Oh no, I did do that. Back when I was racing that? No, I didn't. I didn't break when I raced Super. Details anyway.
Yeah.
So, but 300.
And to wrap it up,
I still got one.
What do you got?
I still believe in intercooler, even on a stock ass car.
Yeah, I was gonna say a downpipe or an intercooler.
Both.
Yeah, I think intercooler.
Because we got, like you said, with the downpipe, you've been.
Yeah, well, and so and I say downpipe before intercooler. Intercoolers are extremely important, but again, with just how old these cars are, the cats seem to be getting plugged often. Like I hear about it a lot, and a lot of people actually. They accidentally usually replace a transmission because the car is shifting weird, it's acting weird, it's just not driving correctly, and it gets misdiagnosed all the time for a bad catalytic converter. It's just plugged. It's been on a car for 200,000 miles.
Yeah, and that's actually going on kind of what you said earlier too about the intake gas stuff, because what these cars do, especially the intake gas, it'll leak coolant in.
Yeah.
And so that coolant gets hot, gets in the exhaust, and gets into the cat, starts melting the cat.
I mean, it's just it's a really silly thing to look back after you put a $3,000 transmission in a car, and it still does the same thing, and then you change the downpipe and it's fixed. And so I had a buddy that did that back in the day. And, but yeah, and then the U-bend delete, like you said, Ryan, it's just super restrictive, and I see a lot of the time that even a stock car has a lot of KR. And I think it's mostly just due to that downpipe. Yeah,
I can definitely see it. And then
I think we can move on from there because after that, we're just gonna get out of control. Yeah, intercooler.
You just gotta say the intercooler because, as we always say,
we say it all the time. It's the only factory vehicle we know of that didn't come intercooled. Exactly. Well, that was boosted and didn't come intercooled.
Yeah. Like, it does so much for the 300. And people are like, oh, is the intercooler that good? Yes.
I know.
Oh my god.
Well, the thing is, you don't even really gotta tune the car to put an intercooler on it. You don't really even have to put a smaller pulley on if you didn't want to, but you normally can.
Yeah, you should. But
This is one thing.
You should
get the most out of it. I mean, what are you doing that for?
Why are intercooler guys? 300 guys.
And our intercooler nowadays is so good. So like that's like been one of Zoom's biggest passion projects, I think, is that intercooler.
For 20 years.
And it's, we call it the 2.5, but it's more like probably revision 6 or 8.
Yeah, way more. Yeah.
Maybe more than that. Who knows? And we got the extra. I forget what we're calling.
Supercore.
Supercore.
Yeah. We got the Supercore. We got the normal stage 2.5. We got the short stack. So depending on what you're doing or your limitations are there, get an intercooler on it. All made right here in house. A lot of R&D behind that project. It works really well.
And no, just going to E85 is not the same.
No.
As an intercooler.
Guys, I do want to say that.
I see 3800 dudes all the time. They're like, wow, I don't need an intercooler. I got E85.
Wrong.
The temps coming out of your blower is still like 300 plus.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not good.
Intercool the cars. E85
many,
is not the
many
same.
podcasts ago, we were laughing about how we could bake some cookies in there.
Yeah.
3800 intake manifold.
Yeah. It's hot.
Easily.
We'll love it.
Yeah. We should try that.
All right. We got to get
We should put some dough in there and bolt the blower on and then drive it around.
How are we going to get the cookie to stay in place? Like, put it in a...
I can print something.
Whoa.
Because how's the engine not going to eat the cookies?
Listen, you always eat the cookie. What?
It just wants some. It's just like...
all of a sudden,
a little bit of cookie dough is fine for a 3800.
Cookie monster.
It would probably run totally fine.
It probably would.
It would have like a little hiccup, and then you'd just be like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, it would eat a cookie, no problem.
Yes.
Do you think it would smell good coming out the back?
It would smell burnt.
Yeah, it probably smell pretty burnt real fast.
I don't know. Sometimes a batch of burnt cookies smells pretty good.
All right, we're doing this next week.
Oh my God! Do not.
Well, you know what we could do is we could just put an intercooler, leave the intercooler in there, and see if we could get it between the intercooler and the blower, so it wouldn't go through the intercooler.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Bacon on top of the intercooler.
Yep.
Dude,
all right, now I want to know who's going to eat that greasy, gasket filled.
I was going to say, I bet
Ryan
would
do
that
it.
blower off and eat those cookies.
He would do like, his hands in the blower would match, so it wouldn't even matter. We love you, Ryan.
Right.
Oh my
God.
God.
Top mod is cookie dough in your intake.
Cookie dough intake. Oh my God. All right, Adam. We talked about 300. We talked about the 1.4.
Okay.
We're gonna go deep diving. We want you to talk. So give us start talking some important mods about the 2.2 and 2.4 cars.
Oh, it's not even just 2.2 and 2.4. I'll be reasonable here, and I'll start out with your timing set.
I'm glad you led with that. I would question.
So
it's so important.
Yeah, green timing guide, new tensioner, new chain.
Just do it.
Yeah. Please just do it.
If you do not know that you did it X amount of miles ago, just do it.
Guys, thus far, again, I don't want to make any crazy claims yet, but thus far, I have seen people going at least double the mileage since we started making our green guides than with the standard ones. Yeah. I have not had a single breakage. Not a single one.
Those things are
they're really good.
They're
super cool.
It's the awesome. Biggest reliability mod.
And like some guy was asking this on the pages the other day. He said he had 140K, but he didn't know if the timing chain had been serviced.
Just do it.
And I was like, you can get down to it and say like, okay, if the previous owner did his oil changes every 3,000 miles, stayed on top of it, yeah, you could probably go longer.
Yeah.
But why risk it?
Yeah.
It's not that. Engine. And for me, it's super affordable upgrade for I mean, the risk reward there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like $1,500. I mean, you want to come to our shop? We'll put a new timing set in it with all the upgrades for like $1,500.
Yeah.
And that's like
Or you
gaskets
do it at
top
home
to bottom.
for $400.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's that or put a new engine in the car.
Yeah, because guys, like Bo, like we recently had a guy come, like, what happened with this guy that decided, hey, look, I'm gonna let my timing chain guide go. What happened?
I don't know if I'm remembering. We haven't had any bad ones in here in a while, but I mean, if the timing chain breaks and skips or stuff happens, I mean, the valves cram pistons and it's a new motor situation.
Well, and on top of that too, if it gets to the point where a guide actually does break, you got plastic through everything.
All the stuff
and
in the bottom.
In the oil pickup.
The big thing is too is if say you did break up, you got a trashed timing set, and you know the car made it back home. You know it didn't skip, it didn't break or whatever. But you're pulling out broken guide. You gotta remember to pull the oil pan because all that guide falls down in the oil pan, and then you know it floats around. Well, it ends up getting sucked up into the pickup tube, and when it clogs your pickup tube,
you spin bearings.
You spin bearings because the oil pressure is starved, you know. So basically, it's pretty standard across the board. If you get a timing set here, we pull the oil pan, clean the oil pan, reseal the oil pan because one, it's usually leaking, but it's so funny. We'll have a car that comes in and we'll do a timing set and we'll pull out a completely good timing set.
Yeah, nothing's broken.
Yep, you know, normal wear and tear. Well, we'll pull the pan. And there will be another timing set in the pan.
Oh my God.
Because, you know, the last guy didn't pull the pan.
There's two sets of guides missing.
Yes. Well, and if the chunks are big enough, it doesn't, like, get over there or, like, it's there but, like, not actually blocking it. But if you get a lot of little chunks, that's when you're screwed.
Yeah.
So it's just funny. Yeah. Like, back to your... If you didn't do it, you need to do it.
Just do it. Yeah. Seriously, guys. Just do it.
And you know, and
everything.
I guess that you could get away with too if you wanted to try and bore scope your pan, like if it's not leaking, you don't feel like taking it down. Which in the Ecotech, it comes right out of there.
Yeah, it's not hard.
The motor mount holds the engine up.
Yeah.
You just zip it down. It's easy peasy.
The hardest part about it is waiting for the oil to drip and dry.
Yeah,
like that's the longest part.
It is
a lot of bolts, but
yeah, it does. But yeah, you can get under there with your impact and zip them all off, and
it's not that hard to do. Don't be scared.
No,
a lot of people are really terrified.
We have videos on it. We have a full video that shows you how to time the engine.
And not even just us. There are a ton of Ecotech timing videos.
Yeah.
So like,
Coy's has one out there.
If there's something that we don't specifically touch on in ours, go find another one.
Well,
and it's scary. You're thinking, okay, if I screw this up.
Move mine closer.
I did, yeah. Okay. Wouldn't you like to know? Hopefully you can hear me better now. But yeah, you think, okay, well, if I screw this up, my engine's gonna be effed.
I think just take your time taking it apart. Take some pictures. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Take some pictures.
When you're taking it apart, see how everything was before you,
Yeah.
you know, before you decide to take everything off.
And then I like to, and you know, we still kind of joke about it around here at the shop. When you're all done, before you put the front cover on, take another picture. Because if you get the car running and you have a code still, maybe you were fixing a timing code and you do a whole new timing set, and then like you start the car and it still has a timing code. You're like, oh my gosh, did I time it wrong? Well, instead of having to pull it back apart, you have a picture to be like, no, I got the timing right. I need to check my cam sensor, you know, or who knows what.
That's
but
good.
It's super nice to be able to reflect back on that. Or maybe the job went well and you're just laying in bed at night and you get struck with anxiety.
What did I do with that extra bolt?
Okay, it's good.
Yeah. All right, so we got our timing chain. That's all Ecotech. Well, what content to the 2224? What else for the base model guys, dude?
I don't know. Like you said, we started out with the controller bushings. I think that was a good one.
Yep.
I don't know what else, Tyler. You're a 2.2 guy.
Was the X22 guy?
I wish I still had my 2.2.
No, you don't.
Preston, sell it back to me.
No, you don't.
Anyway, I think like we touched on, a trans tune if it's an auto car.
Yeah.
Or clutch if it's a manual.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new car once you get a tune for an auto car. It drives so much better.
It's surprising because, especially on an NA setup, you're not adding that much power from the tune itself. But the way it drives makes it feel like it's
every
20,
single
30
customer
horsepower.
that gets a tune for me is like, oh, it feels so much more responsive.
Yeah.
It just feels so much quicker. It's not really quicker. It's just shifting when you want it to.
Uh-huh.
Putting the power down, taking the power we have, transmitting it to the ground just like a transmission is
Using
supposed to do.
Make it usable. Exactly.
And if you have HP tuners, Adam can tell you if your first gear doesn't work. So that could be why it doesn't feel so slow. Or
Yeah.
it feels so slow.
Yep.
What do we got? I mean,
if you're a base model and you got all your maintenance and everything down, I'd say supercharger kit.
Yeah, boost it.
yeah, and I would say if you're an LNF stage 1 kit, and I'd say if you're an LSJ, probably
Yeah.
cooling mods.
Cooling mods.
All right, no. Listen,
Where are you going? What are you thinking?
when we get to the LNF, we got some very choice mods that you really.
Hey,
need
brother,
today.
we're talking about Ecotex right now. We're not going to have a whole section for LNF for you.
Listen,
You need to get it in right now.
Listen, we have a whole the whole last 30 minutes is all about the LNF. Okay.
Ryan's
But
like,
I thought it was the best engine.
Yeah,
So
it
it
needs
doesn't need
nothing.
anything.
Correct. You just got to fix stuff around it. It's not the engine.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
No, seriously, LNF though, a few things kind of like Bo said in the our stage 2 kit, I believe we call it, whichever it is. The two main things I believe it does need is number one, the GM stage 1 map sensors and the intercooler.
Intercooler
more than anything on the planet because all the factory ones break. You found out the hard way. Because, guys, Tyler had an HHR he bought. Couldn't get this thing to run right. Unplugged the MAV, car ran right.
Yep.
Finally got in the car, big old hole in the side of the plastic intake.
Yeah, that was a good buy.
I've done it too.
I bought it for $1,500. Dude couldn't get it running. Thought it was the engine was blowing. Blah blah. So I trailer it home. Get it home. I'm messing with it. And I was like, man, this thing really I could barely pull it in to the garage. It was.
Yeah.
And I get it in the garage. Pull the MAF. Start it back up. Runs perfect. And I was like, I've heard this before.
Big leak.
So you climb under there, hole this big in the intercooler.
Yep.
They
So
all do it.
$1,500 car that required, what's our intercooler package? $700?
Yeah. You don't even
Nah,
need
it's a
to
lot
do
cheaper
that.
than that, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the full intercooler package, the upper, lower, and the intercooler. But just the intercooler, $300.
So the other thing I've been liking a lot lately on these Cobalts is the shifter cables.
That's
New
actually
shifter
a very
cables?
good, yeah.
More maintenance?
That
Guys,
is an underrated essential mod.
these
Underrated.
cars right now are almost 20 years old.
Do you know how many
Just
times those
putting new
shift cables
parts on
have
your
been?
car.
They have been yeeted, and some kids had before you. And he's been doing all this and hitting gears and
He's
messing
like
it
Ryan
up.
Derrick at a stoplight.
Oh, dude, he's up there doing all this stuff. He's just as fucking yeah. It's terrible, but
Well, and they seem to get a lot of corrosion inside too.
yeah, especially if you're
Well,
driving
they are metal
yeah,
in sheathing, so we've even seen them where they'll
Literally
get water
stuck.
in
yeah,
there and they'll freeze.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm saying especially if you're driving through the winter, which for many people is their only car, so
Yeah.
they're driving it, and it's a problem.
And it can make your 165,000 mile trans feel
New fluid, guys. New fluid and shifter cables. That's a good feeling car. Like that's like I'd almost say every year when you go to take it out, if you put it away, or every summer, you put a set of GM 41108s in that car.
Yeah.
Do an oil change, and you put some new fluid in the trans. You're gonna have a good day because that car is gonna be so happy.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel nicer to you. You're gonna be proud of it.
On that note, on any of our platforms, drain and fill your trans.
Yes.
Because
Maybe not 3800. Wait.
Drain and fill's fine.
Yeah. Don't flush it, right?
Yeah.
You sounded so defensive.
If it's absolutely black, you probably don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
If it's a little pink, you're fine. If it still has some red to it, you can service it. But if it's black,
Otherwise,
to
just leave it
you
be.
need to just cross your fingers, brother.
All right.
Just start saving.
Mike, I'm gonna need you to kick John's 14M out of the chat. He said no more LF mods putting it up for sale.
You know who that is?
Yep. Buying a TVS for your 2.2 and
Yeah.
Who was that?
that's Mike.
It's Mike.
Mike Johnson? Oh yeah.
We're talking about shifter stuff. Like, there's so many things. This is kind of off topic a little bit, but there's so many things that affect how your car shifts that people don't realize. I think, like shifter cables. Just having the transmission mounts, those make a huge difference for how well your car shifts because your engine is moving around when you're on and off the
Yeah,
throttle.
I kind of overlooked that on the 3800. Our poly upper motor mounts are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Even like getting all of that slop out of the drivetrain.
You put ZZP mounts in your car and it shifts like
because like you get like a weird clunk like
Mhm.
under acceleration or like gear changes because the motor's literally just flopping.
It's literally
around.
moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys too, obviously Adam does a lot of R&D and stuff, and he has been doing a lot of shifter stuff. A lot of cool stuff's coming to the market for the Cobalt guys and everything about shifter stuff. So keep your eye out for that. But Adam's been doing a ton of it, testing out 2.4 cars, 2.0 cars, doing a ton. So he's been getting super involved in it.
And like you said, Ryan or Bo, you know how many times these things have been shifted?
So
I mean,
many.
hundreds of thousands of times over their 20-year lifespan.
Just
and
the
it's all
age
plastic.
of all the bushings and everything, all the rubber. If you take out your stock mounts, guaranteed they're cracked.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. And I was going to say, on top of that, one of the mods I think is pretty essential for all the 2-liter car stuff is shifter bushings. The base bushings.
Yeah.
And those are...
And a short throw.
Yeah, and a short... That's really good. Like, yeah, it's...
Any of them.
I say if you have to choose one, like if you say I have $50 and I need a mod, get your shifter bushing. Because
well, it's one of those things, just like the 3800 cooling stuff. When in Rome, man, you're gonna do the shift cables.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so many parts.
Like
that,
you can
that
really
go into the shifter.
You can really
assembly.
geek out and make it a full weekend project to just update everything shifter related. And when you go to work Monday, you're gonna have a completely different
different car. Like, and I really appreciate that because it really is those small things that really do help those cars to.
Well, I think you got these old cars and it's super easy to get overwhelmed. You know, you got a lot of maintenance. You know, the dang thing needs tires, it needs brakes, it needs all this other stuff. But just kind of plan your stuff out accordingly, and when it's time to address the shifter, just dive in and do the shifter stuff.
Do all of it.
Yeah.
Just get it over with.
I think it's really easy to get, like, for me especially, I get really focused on like all the go fast bits, but then you don't realize all the stuff, like you said, that just makes the car so much more comfortable to drive.
Yeah.
And enjoyable.
It's just enjoyable because
when it shifts nice, when it shifts like crap, it's like, yeah, sure, it could be fast, but it's annoying to drive or to race somebody because you can't shift fast.
Yeah. So I think it was either Bo or Tim that said it, like, we don't put enough emphasis on like the ergonomics, just to how we feel in the car, the stuff that we touch on the car, the shifter
that you actually interact with.
The shifter is arguably, besides the steering wheel, probably the number 2 thing that you're touching all the time.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
You know, so guys, I definitely recommend shifter mods. I say on the LNF,
and they're very low risk.
Very low risk.
Like if you're new to modding,
yeah,
you can just dive into those
easy.
And, you know, take your time, figure out how all the plastics come out and all that, and, you know, come away with a couple hours and a much better feeling car.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Something too I want to mention for a such model LSJ, the laminate over O-rings.
Yeah.
The laminate over O-rings I feel that's a pretty huge mod.
Absolutely.
If not just a full dual pass
and an intercooler pump.
And intercooler pump and laminate over O-rings.
Intercooler pump number 1.
Check your wiring.
Yep. But yeah, we see a ton of people who they're consuming coolant, like they see it burning, but they're like, but my reservoir doesn't go down.
Yeah, not the engine coolant.
Well, that's because it's a different system and it's just getting sucked in, and I mean, they're old and dry rotted, and like somebody said, you know, coolant on seals and gaskets and O-rings like really. Oh, Xavier.
Shifter pivot cup. It should be on the site soon.
Yep. I might have just taken a product photo of that yesterday.
You guys just got a little sneak peek, and it probably isn't even on the website. That's why it pays to watch the Power Hour.
And it's made out of ZZP green stuff.
Yeah.
Got the green stuff, baby. But yeah, kind of exactly what you were saying, Tyler. Like I would say, because Tyler, you're doing a lot of remote tunes these days. How many times would you say you see a non-working intercooler pump?
Multiple times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I had a guy the other day who he got his 1.0 and he's like, man, this thing only makes 8 pounds of boost, and I don't know why. He's like, I checked everything, I replaced the boost solenoid and this and that, and I was like, send me a log. He sent me a log and I said, well, you see, I put a safeguard in the tune that when you go over 170 IAT2s, your boost gets pulled back to 50%.
Well, looks like your intercooler pump ain't working.
And he's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. But again, it's not something that most people think
how
about.
How would you ever know?
Yeah. Unless you are experienced in these cars like we are, you don't think to like, oh, I got my tune. All right, let me flip the key to on, which our tune does, and then it turns the intercooler pump on. Most people aren't going to do that and go, oh, okay,
yeah,
it's
you're
working.
Not listening for it.
Yeah, so they just go out and they drive the car.
Yeah, I think like if any of us, if we all get LSJ, I'll go out and get like an 07 LSJ right now. The first thing I would do, hands down, like, let me check the intercooler pump. Let's make sure the intercooler pump's working. Because 9 times out of 10, probably not working.
That's such a good sound. I love keying on a car and hearing the intercooler pump running.
It's like a little mini fuel pump.
It's like a little tiny one.
Let's go. Let's go.
Love it. So, all right, yeah, so we got some good mods for the Ecotech platform and all. I am going to say just add one more because we kind of covered a lot of stuff. I think your top strut mounts.
Ooh,
on these cars.
Okay, yeah.
Because many times, again, these cars driven through winter, cars drifting all over time, all over the place. People hitting potholes as hard as they can.
Especially here.
Especially here.
Those strut mounts go out
fairly
quickly. Like, I put some in our HHR 2 or 3 years ago, and one of them's bad already. It's already clunking.
I don't think, and it's a cheap one. We have them on the website. You can get 2 of them. They're like, what, $20 a piece or something like that?
Yeah, and just, you can even do it. It's a little tight, but you can drop the knuckle and do it with the strut in the car.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
you don't necessarily have to get.
That'll be my final one. I said a few platform-specific ones, but those would be for Eagle Tech. That's pretty much my main things. I think we kind of said everything. We said the suspension stuff, like with the control arms.
And obviously we have our top 5 mods for all the different platforms.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to do a new 2224 one.
Yeah.
Because it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. It's like our second most viewed video.
Yeah, that is one of our most viewed videos.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
There's so many base model Cobalts out there.
There's
so many more than LSJs.
Wow. Yeah, I know, which is insane.
I think our first view one is me taking a dump on pedal commanders, and I'll still do it to this day. They're dumb. They're still dumb because guess what? Your tune, if you want to lose all your throttle resolution, you can just have your tuner do that, or you can just floor the car.
People don't know how to do that.
No.
So what's our next platform, boys?
Yeah. I put out 2, so you guys got.
While we're on the 2-liter, we might as well
dive into LTG.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now let's just keep this.
Because
No, seriously, let's keep this productive.
Okay. All right. I would say the most essential mod is good gas. It's not even a mod.
Yeah.
You said Forge Piston?
You said it wrong.
That was a weird way to say built engine right away. But
93 plus octane.
Please, boy. Like this is probably the only time I'm gonna mention gas as heavily as I do. Because the LTG...
Well, I mean, across the board, it's important.
It's important, but like on the LTG specifically, we got... No, it wasn't. Tyler brought his Camaro home from, when he was getting it from the dealership, and they put 87 octane in it. Oh. It knocked the entire way home.
Oh, yeah.
It was from the dealership, 0 miles on it.
Wow.
He literally knocked all the way.
And if you were to ask them, they'd say, yeah, 87's fine.
Yeah.
But see, that's silly. If I was running a dealership, I'd put 93 in a brand new Silverado if you were picking it up.
That's what I'm saying. They had that thing filled with 87. It was almost a full tank. It was 3
cents make dollars.
Yeah.
when you're slinging cars.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So the normal customer doesn't care.
Yeah. We literally filled it up. We got all that gas there, filled it with 93, and the car stopped knocking. It's step number 1.
Yeah.
93.
Colder spark plug.
Yep.
Good oil.
Good oil. We run Mobile One ESP.
Talk about a platform that needs good maintenance.
Yeah, attention to detail.
It really does.
Like 3800, you can sling olive oil in it.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it'll be okay.
Yeah, you can just fill it with WD-40 and it'd
delicious.
be good.
So guys, a very interesting comment just came up. A customer says, at altitude, higher octane makes no difference. Tuners, you guys want to weigh in on that?
It makes less of a difference.
It makes a difference. Yeah. The air is thinner, so you can run more boost essentially, but it still will make a difference. Like I've got a guy out in Utah that like his barrel reads, I can't even remember offhand, but
in the 80s. Yeah,
it's pretty wild, and he knocks even on 93. So like E85 would be beneficial for him.
Yeah. So I just want to put that out there. So just we see some comments, and I obviously yes, that is true. It makes less of a difference, but it still absolutely makes a difference.
Yeah,
if you're trying to get the most out of your car.
Yeah, if you're trying to get the most out of it, you still want to get some octane in there because knock, knockity, knock.
But yeah, essential beyond normal maintenance stuff.
Yeah.
I would say intercooler.
I was just gonna say the moving the intercooler.
The factory intercooler sandwiched in there with the radiator and the AC condenser. Let's do real hot places to live.
Yeah.
For your IATs.
And it's like this big.
Yeah, it's real
really
small.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Getting an intercooler on the car is really big.
And it does require you to tune the car.
Yeah.
And I think Tim says typically like on an ATS or Camaro, it's a 60 to 70 degree difference.
That's enormously different.
That's bigger than all of your cooling mods on an LSJ.
Yeah.
To go from like 170 to 90,
yeah,
is nuts.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, no, I think the spark plugs, like we said, Denso ITV 24s, the intercooler is really good gas. I would say probably after that,
PCM tune.
A PCM tune is going to be very, very, very important.
Especially on auto cars, because
it's weird how there's like a trend here.
Yeah.
Weird.
Crazy, right?
It's like we figured a thing or two out
Yeah.
along the way.
It's a little bit.
But
well, they just put so many nannies on these cars. They just dumb them down so much so that anybody can buy them and drive them.
Yeah.
If you guys ever get like a 2016 plus ATS and it's with the ATSV or 2016 plus Camaro, and you go to drive it, that thing will shift. You will go 10 miles an hour. It would have shifted 7 times already.
Yeah. It'll lug you at 45 miles per hour in 8th gear down the road. Yep. Which
if you don't have a tune on your ATS, I always recommend running them in sport mode.
Yeah. Because
they'll hold on a little longer.
So,
yeah, it'll lug it along, and then it will not up or downshift when you're putting a little bit of throttle into it, and you get some boost in there, and it's, 15 pounds at 2,500 RPM just isn't good.
Yeah.
And so you get our ZZP 1.0 and remote tune with Tim, and he changes those shift points, all that. He'll change the throttle sensitivity for where it'll downshift.
Power enrichment stuff.
Yeah, and it just makes a world of difference.
Yeah, it's you don't want to lug them around.
No.
Big heavy car, small engine, boost,
and
prone to detonate,
and quick boost.
Yeah,
that's
very quick boost.
If you had a big old honking turbo on it, it would be a little bit different.
Yeah, because you got a lot of RPM, you're moving a lot of air when it comes
out.
Yeah. Well, it's always getting a car that has a big chance of suffering from low speed pre-ignition LSPI anyway, so it's something you definitely want to keep that thing at higher.
The other thing, just what we freaking see in the shop all the time, valve cover gaskets on those cars.
Yeah.
And your front cover gasket likes to leak a lot too. We've got that really dialed in because we basically found Chris, our engine builder, he found that unless you bolt the tensioner on the engine on the front cover, so the LTG, it's sealed only with RTV.
Yep.
The only gasket that really seals it is the valve cover, and that leaks. But oil pan front cover is all RTV. Well, when you fresh put a front cover on there with RTV, there's a huge 6 or 8 inch section on the front cover that doesn't have any bolts holding it on.
Oh.
So then the RTV hardens, and then you go to put the engine in the car, you run your tensioner down, and it squishes the RTV out.
Yeah.
So whenever we put together an engine, it gets the tensioner put on it right away, even though it's not even time for a belt tensioner.
Yeah.
But that's what holds the front cover on the side.
Okay. Yeah.
If you look at any LTG across anywhere, like my brother's LTG that was in here, is 60,000 mile car. The front cover is so wet around that belt tensioner.
It's always seeping.
Always seeping right there, because however they did it, they had a rack of engines, they glued them together,
assembly line it,
got the tensioner later, and it squished that RTV out enough that, by 50,000 miles, you got a major front cover leak.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is it's a seep usually enough where you can live with it. It's very annoying.
Yeah.
But valve cover gaskets are super common on those. It leaks right down the backside, gets on the manifold. You'll smell it in the cabin. But when you do that, make sure you do the vac pump seal, and then the vacuum gasket. It's the vacuum pump gasket itself. There's 2 gaskets. We sell them all.
Yep.
But and it's not a terrible job, but you do got to pull the cowl.
Yeah.
Usually, it just saves you the time.
I do want to. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, for LTGs, he's asking how often should you change your oil?
Since
we're on LTG,
I think 3,000 to 5,000 miles, just like any other application.
1 ESP.
If it kind of just depends too on your drive. You're doing a lot of highway miles. I think 5,000 is fine.
Yeah.
These new oils are great.
A lot of short trips sooner.
Yeah, and the other thing, I more and more I think a filter halfway, like especially on the Ecotech stuff. Those small paper filters. We pull them out, and how many times have you seen those things all shriveled up?
Yeah, they're crunked.
And they're just
of the time.
gunky. So maybe just, especially on that, you could swap that in 5 minutes. You know, if you want to run your LSJ 5,000-6,000 miles because you got dang good oil in it. I just bought oil today. I run Maxima 1040 and everything. It's $12-14 a quart. I don't remember. It's expensive.
And what's a filter? $10?
Yeah. So just
get in there one
day.
Do
the filter 3,000 halfway through. That's some.
Yeah, that's easy.
Good maintenance.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tej, with your car, you're making some good power, and on E85, E85 does dilute oil quicker than gasoline does. So, $3K, why not?
I would agree. Yeah.
Let's grab a couple other here.
What's
Hunter's got a Ford Explorer ST. I don't know, dude. Big turbos and some slicks.
You're on the wrong YouTube channel.
Yeah. Sorry, man. We don't really do those here.
I do think they're pretty cool because they're pretty quick for like a big old mom car.
It's like
What do they run, like a 13.0, 12.9?
I think with bigger turbos they run like 11s.
Yeah,
it's one of those things right now. The SUV game is kind of insane.
It's like a minivan.
Like the SUV game right now, you got kind of like Escalade V's out there and track Hawks and
I wish they had like a cool GM SUV we could play with.
Why won't they make one?
Well, you do know that they are coming out with the Blazers back in SS form, right?
So like when they use the Blazer for example, I don't love the Blazer, but if they would have put a LF4 in there, LF4,
oh, that's the
an LF4 in a Blazer SS
would have been sweet.
Would have been so cool.
But now they're making it an EV. They're making it an EV. It's coming back as an EV right now.
Well, it's already out.
The Blazer SS is?
Well, the Blazer is.
Yeah, the Blazer. But the Blazer SS, they're coming back with EV.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I always say Xavier said number one mod order air cooler for LNF. I don't know if that's number one mod.
Maybe he's a track guy.
Yeah, I mean even still, LNF doesn't really have to really focus on that, even on track stuff. So I don't know if I agree with that one.
But he asked, where do you put a AFR bung on the exhaust?
For pretty much every car, it's the same spot. So it's between the primary and secondary or two, usually pre-cat.
Needs to be before the cat.
Yeah, if you can't put it before the cat, after the cat will do.
Yeah.
But most places.
You want it just close to heat.
Yep.
Yeah.
They need heat to warm up, and they perform better when they're closer.
And
for some reason, all the manufacturers like AEM, they say like, "Oh, don't put it too close to the exhaust." But then you look at where the OEMs put it, and where do they put it? Right in the turbo.
Yeah.
Like right on
after
the turbo in the hottest spot.
And it's funny too, though. Like we could sit. A lot of people will rant about where you put a wideband, and then on the dyno, we stick it in the tailpipe.
In the tailpipe. Yeah. After the cat, after the whole exhaust.
Yeah, so guys, like on the
there's two mufflers just in one side.
Just in one side. Yep. But yeah, guys. So something too, I've been seeing a little bit more. Like obviously, I'm a front line dealing with a lot of you guys with that. Guys, do not take out your primary or 2 cents and put a wideband in.
Don't do that.
And do not put a spacer on.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've had a lot of people like, oh yeah, I took out my first 2 cents and put a wideband in. I'm like, brother, your car cannot make any adjustments now.
Yeah.
So guys, you got to remember, adding a wideband gauge to your car, that's just for
you and the tuner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your car doesn't see that, so now it's freaking out because all the changes it's trying to make are not happening. Your car probably runs poorly, so please don't do that. That's just a little side note.
Widebands are really cool, but I think a lot of time, they do a lot more harm than good.
I would agree with you.
People, they get a lot of anxiety looking at a wideband. You know, it's constantly dancing, it's constantly doing things.
They're like,
yeah, guys,
it was 19 during the log.
Yeah,
and, you know, like Tyler and I,
idle or something.
Tyler and I got full builds. Do you have a wideband in your car?
I do now. Yes.
You what? This year?
Yeah.
Good for
That's
you.
That's one of the first things I'm putting in mind. For sure.
He betrayed the trust.
It's okay. I mean, I'm happy for him, but I mean, it's been years, right? Yeah. That motor was in 3 cars before it got a wideband.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
You don't need a wideband. You have stock pulley.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got him. But no, guys, seriously, like Bo is right. If you are not privy. So now, and think about this, guys. There's nothing wrong with admitting you don't know everything. You know, like we all got to remind ourselves of that. Yeah. But like, it's myself included. But like, yeah, like a wideband gauge is constantly doing stuff. You do not want to see my LTG on startup on a thing. It's all over the place. So yeah, but it drives fine. It drives great. And I've been running the same engine for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Now. So, but yeah, guys, you don't just because your buddy says, "Oh, you need a wideband," you may not need a wideband.
Yeah.
If you know what you're looking at.
Well, and they're expensive gauges.
They're very expensive, $300 gauge, even more.
If you genuinely aren't like, you think you'd put it good. If you're not super privy with a wideband, I think your money would be better spent on an Air Force scan gauge.
Air Force gauge.
It's a much easier install.
Yes.
Yep.
You can read clear codes. You can watch O2 millivolts. And if you want to read exhaust in some way, you learn how to read the O2 millivolts rather than a wideband, I think.
Yep.
You know, because that gets the job done.
Yeah, it really does. Like if you know what you're looking at, that's
yeah.
Xavier Delgado, he says, is a 5th injector needed on an LNF? So, loaded question. Overall, yes. Depends on your build level, though.
Mm-hmm.
The 5th injector has multiple good uses. Number one, for when you run out of fuel in these cars, like as far as fuel pressure, it's good to add that in because we've taken a 5th injector to 700 horsepower. People say, oh, it has fueling limitations. What fueling limitations?
Yeah.
We have all the fixes
in
for that.
2010. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So also, because it is a DI car, the valves get coked, as pretty many new cars do.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
them.
So it's good for washing that off. However, you got to floor it to wash valves off. You don't floor it a lot, it's not that worth it. But I do think it's an excellent mod. Like, even on a bolt-on turbo, I wouldn't say it's not necessarily bad, but on like E85 and when you're actually pushing the limits of the fuel system.
It is pretty crazy on the LNF that one extra injector can get you that much further.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. The install's really not bad. I mean, it's right there in front of you on the intake manifold. A little bit of wiring, you're good. But I saw Francisco mention new products coming out for the 2-liter Camaro. We got some things in the work. We have our new catch can system coming very soon.
We should have put that's a.
I was thinking about that, but it's not out yet.
We said by next month.
Yep.
Next month. Okay.
Next month. But
you guys, Bill Kish has a 1.4.
He has an Encore.
Hey,
he's had it for a while.
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
Mr. Kish, I was not aware. Well, now
he hasn't ruined it yet.
Are you just send him an invoice every now and like, hey,
he knows what he needs to do. He's just scared.
He's got that turbo power? He ain't ready for all that?
He doesn't. Yeah, he's not a turbo boy.
Oh my goodness. He's ridden in your car, right?
Oh yeah.
Ion Stealth is coming.
It is coming.
We have a sample. We put it on the car. We're testing.
We got our final tweaks ready for it, and they should be entering production here soon. So I will not give a date, but it is actually happening.
I put one in the passenger seat of my Cobalt just to make you Ion guys mad. To say I run around with the Ion Stealth heat exchanger in my car.
That's funny. So we got one platform left, right?
ATSV?
I did want to say there was a guy up there that was asking for F23 mods. Don't worry, F23 guys.
Gen 2 Cruise.
F23 development is happening.
Forget about that car.
Yep. Right, let's do that one.
That's a super easy one.
So, guys, Gen 2 Cruise. So one of our newer platforms. It's one of my favorite 1.4s because DI of the world. But
I think on that car,
it's an impressive engine.
I think on that car, Essential Mod, due to its fuel system capabilities, flex fuel.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good car to put flex fuel on.
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
dude, it's really neat that you can just put our flex fuel kit on.
Tune and flex fuel kit, you can literally run the 85. Mm-hmm. There's not many other cars that can do that with a factory fuel system.
We made a lot of power on the factory fuel system.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So, an underrated one too that I think for this platform is actually valve springs, just because the factory valve springs are pretty chintzy, and so it's pretty nice. Obviously, and guys, so valve springs are a wear and tear item. Mm-hmm. So over time they do lose seat pressure, and those cars are almost 10 years old too. That's kind of a lot. Yeah, I know, right? I would say valve springs are a pretty good idea, but we're both saying number one, flex fuel and a tune. Whew, Lord and then have mercy.
Up shortly, a Z04.
Yeah.
The Z04.
Very soon.
The Z04. And what's even better is, so a lot of the second gen cruises are obviously automatics. Yep. And the one downfall of the Z04 on the first gen 1.4s is that torque converter in the autos is not great. It's a little just not great.
It's tight.
Real tight guy.
The one on the second gen cruise is so much better.
Loosey goosey.
And a Z04 on a second gen cruise drives like a stock turbo.
Yes.
Except you make 80 to 100 more wheels.
Yeah, it puts you right into the power band.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's so good.
The Gen 2, so the thing is, it takes us a while to come around to everything, just like you guys. We haven't fully accepted the Gen 2.
No.
We've modded it. We've enjoyed it. We've got a lot of them. Ironically, like a lot of them.
Yeah,
like there's a
surprising amount. There's like 6 back there.
Yeah.
And we don't get excited yet.
Not
yet.
No one has purchased one as a personal car.
Yeah.
And that, I think,
soon,
is part of it.
Within the next 5 years, we're going to be doing some big Gen 2 stuff. Because it is a way better car.
Oh, way better car.
In every possible way.
Yeah. I think the hatchback RS.
The 1.4.
Yeah, the hatchback RS is such a cool looking car on the outside. I'm just so upset that they didn't do something better with the interior. The interior is full rental car, and that's the problem. But
it's really comfortable.
It is extremely comfortable.
And everything's right where it needs to be.
Yeah, it's very simple.
If you get the up model stuff with the leather wheel and the CarPlay and all that, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I am with you. It's rental car.
I like simple. I drive a Cobalt.
I mean, I do too. We saw fancy. I made one. So. But no, I really do like the Gen 2 Cruise. It's a DI 1.4, so it's literally like DI.
But so far, really, for maintenance wise,
they've been
great.
Yep.
Oh yeah, really.
Right,
even the factory turbos are even better.
Yeah. The wastegate.
Wastegate does fail.
The wastegate fails quite quickly.
Much better than replacing your turbo, though.
Yeah. I mean, what, $100 and 3 bolts? And
yeah, it's right there.
Done.
Yep. It's just right up front too, so big,
But
nice turbo top.
just run 93.
Yep, just run 93.
At least.
And you don't need any weird parts like some valve cover brace or anything like that, because that doesn't do anything anyway.
You just need...
Well, boys, we got 5 minutes.
Oh.
We got to squeeze this
Whoa!
LF4.
We got.
Yeah, we got to go get our
It
race
just jumps.
LF4. Set of plugs.
Yep.
Gap accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
I'd suggest 25 thou.
Yep.
Bleed the intercooler.
Yep. Intercooler fill kit. We got one of the intercooler bleeder kit, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't got to get crazy and upgrade intercooler stuff. I mean, it's great to do that, but just bleed it.
Yeah.
Monthly.
Which is easier said than done.
Yeah.
It's true. That's why we got to get anyway.
Yeah. And then from there, tune and downpipes.
Tune and downpipes. Yep.
The downpipes are big on those cars.
Huge.
And get the ones with the crossover.
Between those two mods, you're looking at like 100 wheel horsepower.
Yeah, downpipes tune on that sucker. Bleed the intercooler. Remote tune. Bam.
We got an old video of an auto car that came in making like 430.
Yep.
And then walked out on an old, very conservative tune making like 550.
550. That's nuts.
Insane.
Yeah.
That car is nuts.
I mean, we just did a full bolt-on E30 car. Made 600 to the tire.
Yeah. Auto.
Made 480.
Inlets are pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BFIs.
Yeah, the BFI inlets are huge on the ATSV.
I wouldn't say that's
probably not
an immediate need because they are very difficult.
Yeah.
In terms of
getting
overall installation.
But
they in the way.
But they seem to make a lot of power.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
So like if you got it in your brain, you want to make a little more power, BFIs.
Yeah.
For sure. But other than that, the LF4 is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So you really don't need.
All right.
What's nice about that is there's not a ton of maintenance for that car.
Yeah.
And it's just like everything. It's not like an old Cobalt. You're not spending a year and all of your budget to just to drive down the road. You can literally, you're in a different tax bracket.
Yeah,
legitimately. You can just get that car, and everything you do is fun.
Yep. All right, Bo. Tackle slingshots, and we're good.
Step one. So anyway, what are we doing this week?
Dang, I didn't even think about that.
I
rewind to Ecotech section, and then or insert for sale sign.
Good answer.
Yeah. So anyway. Ryan Derrick, what you doing this weekend?
Man, I still need to clean and unpack. Like I was from my trip.
Dude,
for Disney
was like 2 weeks ago.
Dude, last week I did one suitcase, and this week I'm doing the other suitcase.
Unpacking does suck.
Dude, like I got to do another laundry. That's another laundry load.
You just leave it in there until you need it again.
No, I gotta wash it. I can't have it in the middle of the floor. I came here yesterday. Kimberly was laying in it. He just if it fits, it sits. He's just a big 100-pound dog laying in a suitcase.
Nice.
What are you doing? What do you think you're Berlin now? What are you doing?
I always got to close my suitcase.
Yeah, Berlin gets in. He's like,
I don't want any of the animals getting in.
Oh, that's great. So just unpacking?
Good. Unpacking. I'm not doing anything too crazy. You
gonna come to the track Sunday?
Are we going to the track Sunday? I didn't know that.
Couple of us are going to the track.
Depending on what time. I got to pick up.
You say that like you're going.
I'm gonna go. I'm not racing anything, but I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I know, depending. Because guys, right now, the snowball and the ATS were stuck because they're doing construction, and they have like a lip this tall getting out of my driveway.
Yeah,
so I want to drive. It's really nice. I want to drive my cars, but guess what? They're like, hey, you're gonna be doing this for a little bit. Hey guys, I'm like, really? It's the beginning of the summer?
Just jump it.
Yeah, neither car's lips.
Maybe in the Sonic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Sonic is on. It's just fine.
Oh yeah, just
gets it. Fine. Anyway, Adam, what are you doing?
We're doing a 5K tomorrow.
We're doing a 5K tomorrow.
Nice.
You guys doing a Rivertown one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I forgot it was this week.
Preparing for that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You'll be all right.
Enjoy.
And that's it.
Yep.
The last 5K I did, I didn't think it was bad at all.
I don't know. It should be fine.
Just pace yourself.
Yeah.
Try and get under 30.
Yep.
What about you, Bacall? What are you doing?
This dude runs like freaking.
Oh, this dude.
Well, he is the GB runner.
I am the GB runner.
GB runner. For all you Cobalt.
But now I'm the old GB runner because I'm friggin' 34 now.
Old GB runner.
Yeah.
Retired GB runner.
Retired. So yeah, I'm doing that. I'm hoping to get some work done on the Saab this weekend.
Are you getting the intercooler pipes yet? When are those done?
They're at the powder coaters currently.
You should go pick them up today.
I don't know if they're done.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, I thought.
No, they're just there.
Oh, it's there. Okay.
Whenever they're done, they're done. But I got to do all the rust repair, and so I bit off a lot more of while I'm in there than I initially expected.
Don't we all?
That's exactly how it's supposed to go, though.
Oh,
Yeah. Then you end up
Hopefully
with
it's a
It's the
good
way,
car.
it's the way God intended.
Hopefully it's a
This
good car.
is from
when
the
I
guy.
start.
That's Bo, because he's like, well, I'm in there. Might as well drop the engine, do a full redone on it,
Yeah, I'm not
change
even-
every bolt in the engine.
I'm not even doing that.
I like it.
But,
yeah.
That's a standard Bo cop
Just
stuff.
get the notepad out after a couple beers and just make a list, and then
I've
just
got a
take
list.
the car apart, and then you got to do it.
When I took my side
I-
apart, I was literally going to change the diff fluid, and then I changed the subframe.
Yeah.
to a
I-
different car.
Yeah.
I like the Tyler's masking tape.
Oh, buddy!
Oh my god! Y'all can't see that. That's a
It's gonna
this
be
is a
a new
list.
car. Wow, how do you
That's
get
a
those little
list.
It's a book.
checkboxes? What kind of notepad is that?
It's Google Keep. It's good.
Okay.
Good note. Keep it
I like the masking tape one because it's like a list. Once
You
you're
pull
done,
it off.
you pull it off.
Yeah, it's
well, the
satisfying.
problem is you can't look at the list while you're at work.
That's
Or like,
fair.
What
not that
parts
would,
do I need for
you know,
this weekend?
Yeah.
That's fair.
when we're
That's
supposed, when we're not actually working.
Yeah.
It's in.
Also, if you leave it on there for too long, it starts to peel up, and then you got to remove the
that's
adhesive.
true.
And
That's
at
true.
this point, I haven't driven the car since like October last year. So
Yeah,
that's not bad. Yours moved with you.
Yeah, mine moved on a trailer.
Oh gosh, that is.
Oh, you
when
talking about that
know you
Cobalt?
got a
Oh my
project
God.
car.
I forgot you even
Yeah,
had it.
we don't
Cars
even
that
know
people
he has
don't
his
even know
option.
I didn't even know he had it.
People I've never seen.
Oh my
Never
god!
been posted.
What
Mr.
about you,
Cobb.
Bo? What you doing?
Oh, I don't know, not too much at all actually. Shoot down to the racetrack, a little bit of yard work. That's about it.
That's
All
good.
right. Yeah,
Oh,
I
I-
got to mow
That
the
sounds
lawn.
like a good weekend.
I gotta-
Oh yeah, the weather's getting.
Oh
bad.
yeah.
The
Mobile.
lawn is
My backyard.
long.
Oh,
Oh, it's bad.
I don't want to.
I'm gonna have to mow it twice.
Yeah, I might do that. I
Hit it
forgot
2
about
times.
That. Yeah, hit it twice.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will
Everyone-
be back next month, which will be May, which is insane. Friday the
Why
30th.
would you say that?
Mike said it first.
Why would you say
He's just
that?
reading it. He's reading a script.
Oh my god.
May
don't
is
say-
here, dude.
Yeah.
it's
Unfortunately,
nuts.
I won't be here because I have a few plans at the end of next month. But
I
yeah.
really liked it though. Today, I felt so good outside
I
today.
did. That's why I'm wearing shorts for the first time. But I'm so upset. I want to drive my Georgetown Construction. If anyone of you guys are watching, fix my road. I want to drive my cars and get them here.
It'll be done by August.
Maybe.
Oh, no.
Don't
Dude,
say
you can
that.
be like on
I'll
cars,
cry.
you can hook snowballed up to the road paver.
Oh, yeah, might as well. Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, I am proud of this. One quick one. One mod I got coming for a snow car. I took the compressor cover off and sent it to Daddy Turbos for a Zona Road, a T51R mod. I'm going to make all the turbo noises this year. I'm so pumped.
There we go. Thanks for joining us. Catch you next month. Let us know if there's any topics you want to cover.